Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today I've got 10 simple tricks for that new electric mountain bike rider. And Mike, welcome back to the channel.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for your time. And a couple of weeks ago, we went out and bought Mike his first electric mountain bike. Got a Specialized Levo comp aluminium.
Yep.
You loving it?
Loving it. It's a ball.
Okay,
Having a great time on it.
So today what we're going to do is we're going to keep you safe out in those trails.
Yep.
Because I see a lot of people get a little bit too excited.
As I know firsthand.
Yes, and it's good to see you got all the kit on here. Now, have you done your homework?
I have. I watched some videos, Sam. These ones right here.
Look at this guy. He wants a job at Sam's Bikes. I asked Mike to watch the mission control video to get the most out of mission control out of your e-bike.
Yep.
And also the setup video. So the bike is set up.
It is set up, yes.
100% set up, yes?
Yep, 100%.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect. And I want to give a shout out to Will Rides because they dropped your bike off to you.
Yep.
And they did spend half an hour setting your bike up as well.
Yep,
so
they spent some time.
You don't get that at every bike shop, but Will Rides, absolute legend. So we're going to look at 10 simple tips to keep Mike safe out in the trails. And riders, I think you'll definitely get something from it. But first, check out the new rubber on Mike's bike, some Schwalbe Magic Marys, and a massive shout out to Schwalbe. They hooked him up. They have been the longest sponsor at Sam's Bikes. I absolutely love my Schwalbes. I'm rocking an ultra soft on the front, a soft on the back, 2.4. Absolutely best e-bike tires in my opinion. And now, Mike, on to the first tip. I did actually help Mike get his bike out of the car today. He took both wheels off the bike. I know a lot of people are doing that, transporting their bikes to the trails. What you want to do is you want to go over the bike, just make sure everything's tight. And also, if you don't have a torque wrench at home, probably grab one. And on most of the important bolts on the bike, it will tell you how much torque to torque up those bolts. You should probably check that every month, every 2 months, because when you're riding out in these trails, they do sometimes come loose. Number 2, tire pressure on your Schwalbe tires. Tire pressure is hugely important. So you should check your tire pressure before every ride. And why do you want to do that? Well, normally you have your tire set up, you're 87 kilos on a good day.
Yep, on a good day.
So I would say Mike should be around 25 PSI at the front and about 28 to 29 at the back. You want lower at the front for more traction.
Yep.
And harder at the back because when you are going hard down those trails, your weight is over the back of the bike. Now, all good mountain bikes should be set up tubeless. So that means you've got no tubes. And unfortunately with tubeless, and not all setups are the same, you generally lose a little bit of pressure during the week. So if you're riding once a week, you should check your tire pressures.
Before you go out.
And that is like hugely important because if you do have an accident, you can say, okay, it definitely wasn't my tire pressure. So then you can go look at maybe your body position, your braking or your suspension. You can work out what's going on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure, Sam, yeah.
Perfect.
100%.
And the third tip would be feet position on those pedals. We're going to do a close-up of that. But what you want to think about is you want the sole of your foot exactly in the middle of the pedal on the axle of the pedal. This is going to give you the best grip and the best control.
For sure.
And now to the fourth one, and this seems pretty simple, but you'd be surprised. Put that seat down whenever you're going downhill because it's designed to be up when you're climbing up or on the flat, but when you're going down, you definitely want it out of the way so you can move your body around the bike. And also, when you're doing technical climbing, you don't want, if you're doing like a fire road, seat all the way up, no problem. But if you're doing like a steep techie climb, I will play around with the seat height for my balance. So like you'll find a sweet spot. If it's really steep, it might be all the way to the bottom. If it's not super steep, it might be like halfway. And also when you're doing the steep stuff, bend your elbows down to the ground and head up over the handlebars.
Yep.
Number 5, braking. And this is hugely important. Actually, everything's important in this lesson. But so Mike, you're ex-moto.
Yep.
When you're braking, you're normally braking with 2 fingers?
2 or 3. Yep.
2 or 3,
yep.
Okay. So on mountain biking, it's 1.
Yep.
100% 1.
Okay.
And we want to stay, and I'll also do a close-up, we want to say when we're going downhill, we want to stay in a safety position on our brakes, which I call it tethered, where it's you have your hand on the bars and you pulled into the position on the brakes where you can feel they're grabbing just a little bit.
Right.
Like you can just feel them. You're kind of there, ready. You're in the ready position to brake.
Feeling some brake.
And the way I like to show new riders how to do that is to go down like a gradual fire road and just grab the front brake and just play around with the power of that brake. So you don't want to obviously pull it too hard, you're going to go over, but you just want to like try and roll down a hill and just slow yourself down with the front brake, like slowly, and just feel where that power is.
Check the vibe.
Yeah, and also another thing, when you are going downhill, and we'll do more close-ups of this, when you are braking, you're braking obviously stronger with the front brake than the back brake. So braking is all with the front. You don't want to brake in a corner. You want to have your speed correct before you get into that corner.
Hit the corner.
And when you are braking, especially when it's steep, you move your butt back over the wheel.
Okay.
So the harder you pull it, the more you need to go back.
All right, sweet.
You generally slow yourself down with the front brake, and the back is more for controlling and just sort of making like minor adjustments, but most of the power is coming from the front. Number 6 is body position. I like to call it race position. We'll do a close-up of that, but it's basically, you want to always have your arms bent just a little bit. You want to have your head back a little bit from the handlebars, about here, and your knees bent. But it's also like when you're going downhill, it depends on where the body's pushing you. You will be moving your ass from left to right, back and forward. So that race position is kind of a neutral position. You want your butt kind of just behind the seat a little bit, not too far, but you'll notice that when you start moving faster, your body will naturally start moving around. But the start point of that race position is about here. And when it goes into a rocky, hard section, you're covering your brakes, 100% cover your brakes, front and back. You're in tethered position, and it's here. But as I said, if it gets steeper, it's here. If it's not as steep, it's here. If it's a bit off camber, you move your ass sideways a bit. All your weight comes from your butt. So you'll naturally feel that, and I'll correct it when we're out in the trail. You just feel it and you'll start moving into it. It just takes time. Number 7 is always have your pedals at 3 and 9, so flat. Even when you're starting to do corners, even when they're big switchbacks. Just because when you're learning, there's a lot of things to get right, and if you're going around a really tight switchback, I will always drop a pedal, but you need to get back into 3 and 6 as you come out of that corner, or you could hit a rock, or you could, so you've got a very low point of the bike. So I always say, in the beginning, stay at 3 and 6. Just really try and be there, because if you catch a rock or like a little stump on your pedal, man, you're going to go flying.
See you later.
It's really not fun. Number 9, track standing. And track standing's where you stop and you balance on your bike. You would have seen the riders, the courier riders in the city do it at the traffic lights.
Absolutely.
So basically, that's not really a mountain bike skill. That's more just a riding skill. And I think it's important because the slower you ride downhill, especially on hard trails, you'll be using your balance. The slower you go, the less natural balance you get from the bike. So I'd say that's really important. Practice like when you're waiting for your mates, or at the end of a ride, or on a weekend with your family. Just go out, just do a bit of track standing and practice that. You start off with your brakes locked in this position. You stand up, and now you just balance and you use your brakes and your body and turn the handlebars.
Nice.
And then you try and you find something you can balance off. So now I've got something I'm balancing off. Take one hand off.
Hey.
Two hands off. To push back off against, and you just slow down, and then you can balance there. That's it. Takes time. And number 9, always look where you're going, not where you've been. You want to come back over the seat here, head up. You're not looking down at the trail, you're looking in front of you where you want to go. Number 10, confidence and risk management. Now, this is something that is quite big. First of all, you're 43, same age as me, family man, you got to go to work the next day. If you're feeling butterflies in your stomach, there's a reason you're feeling it. Slow it down. You know, we're here for a long time. We want to get better, but we also don't want to get broken. But also saying that again is you want to also believe in what you're doing. If you're gonna hit something or you're gonna try something, hit it with 100% confidence. I see it so many times, people going out and trying to hit a feature and they actually break just before the feature, but then they can't stop and they roll off the feature anyway. If you're gonna hit something, you hit it.
Hit it.
You know, try and have that confidence, but also the risk management, listen to the body, listen to the butterfly, try and just, you know, manage those things. And also, I like to say 2 crashes in one day, game over.
Yep.
Pack it up, pack the toys up. We shouldn't be crashing more than, like I crash maybe once a year, but you know, I've been riding a long time. You shouldn't be crashing every ride.
Yep.
You know, if you are crashing every ride, pull it back.
Yep.
Okay.
Take it easy.
You ready to do this shakedown ride?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Get out there on the trail.
All right, Mike, good work, mate. Good shakedown
Thanks,
ride.
Sambo. Cheers for the intro.
We stayed safe. Might go and have a cheeky beer now, maybe.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say you did a really good job. Your feet position were good. I gave you a little bit of correction on your feet because they were sort of like pointing out just a little bit.
Duck.
I did like how you controlled your speed. I liked how you did have the race position, but it's almost like you need to stick your butt out a little bit more and get over that back seat. And it will come with time. You need to move your body around a little bit, and that will come. Like you're just probably holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
And
hanging on for grim death. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is pretty steep up there.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, you did a great job. And how did you find it?
Yes, it's gnarly and fun. Definitely a bit scary, but all good.
Did you feel in
Respect it.
control?
Yeah, I felt in control. I think that was a right amount of speed, and yeah, we'll let the handbrake go a little more as we gain a bit of confidence and most importantly, ability.
Yep. So what also, riders, importantly, I didn't mention before, we actually looped the same track like 4 or 5 times. I definitely recommend stay on the same trail, warm up on that, couple of rides, and then so you're not learning a new trail and riding at the same time.
Yep.
So you stay safe out there. And riders,
Thanks
for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, share it with like-minded people, and we're gonna see you next time. Let's go.
Rock out.